First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Mang Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Dorje. And to the main deity of Homa, the Golden Mother of the primordial Jetpon, we pay homage. We pay homage to the 3 jewels of the altar. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our special guest today, Secretary General Liao from the Coordination Councils of North America and of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Taiwan, and Mrs. Liao, Dharma Sister Judy, and the Chief Secretary of the Taiwan Government, Mr. Tsang Peifu. From Academia Sinica, Professor Zhu Si and Mrs. Zhu. From the Nantou County Administrative Department, the head, Ms. Lin. And from the KMT Party, Tainan City, the chief, Mr. Tsai. From the KMT Party, Kaohsiung City, the vice chair, Ms. Xu. Representative. The legislator, Mr. Cai Zitang's representative, Ms. Chen Mei. From the Overseas Credit Warranty Fund's head director's wife, Ms. Vivian Sik. From the National Tsang University WE Professor Dr. Wang. From the National Dzogchen University WE Special Guest Professor Dr. Wang. And from the National Yinlin Science and Technology University WE Professor Dr. Wang. From the National Taiwan Science and Technology University Business Administration Professor Dr. Lin and Mrs. Lin. From Pingtung Daren Science and Technology University Assistant Professor Yi. A famous singer, Mr. Sing Long. My ex-classmate in elementary school, Mr. Ong. Classmate in elementary school. Thank you for coming. It's a special, rare occasion. Did you mistreat me in school? Because in elementary school I was being bullied. President of the Lotus Light Charity Society of Taiwan, Mr. Wu.
My sister, Lu Sheng-Yen.
Producer for the Illuminating Your Heart TV program of CTI TV Taiwan, Ms. Rebecca Su. Producers for the Platform Sutra and Development Stages of Tantrayana TV programs, Master Lien Yue and the host Dharma Sister Peijing. And the Chief Secretary of the Taipei City Elementary School PTA Association, and the Secretary of the High School PTA, Miss Chue. Good afternoon, how do you do? In Cantonese, today we had lots of disciples from Hong Kong. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Well,
coming. And good afternoon. Domo konnichiwa. Selamat siang, selamat hendan.
it's in Indonesian and Malay.
Hola. 什么是 Hola？ 西班牙语 Hello。
That's hello in Spanish.
Hola， 对不对？对，
Right.
西班牙语 Hola。今天我们是做瑶池金母的护摩。
Today we had the Homa of Golden Mother.
是生活中最伟大的
And Golden Mother
一个主尊。
is the greatest, one of the greatest main deity at Tribhuda school and the most divine deity.
没有瑶池金母，今天就没有
Without
卢世
Golden
尊。
Mother, then the Sheng-Yen today will not exist.
当
The
年的
Master
时
Lu
候
will not exist.
就是
At that
跟
time,
基优赏，这个林千代师姑基优赏讲说，有一位卢胜彦，
she told Jio-san
请他来见我。
that
我
there
那
is
时候
a
叫
Sheng-Yen
卡
Lu and asked him
日
to
本的
come
名
see
字
me.
私は罗卡子
My Japanese name
罗卡
is
子
Ro Katsu.
私は羅卡子うちは太陽理心日
My name is Katsuro and my address
卡子他们叫我的
is
名
in
字叫卡
Taichung
子
City.
我要见卡子要是金母讲
So
他懂得
Golden
我的
Mother
想法
said
叫卡子
that she
卡子
wanted
就
to
是
see
圣
Katsu,
圣宴的圣
and she knew, but my
Katsu
nickname Katsu.
一口呢就是
Katsu
宴
means Seng, the Sheng-Yen, Seng,
你用
and Hiko is Yen, so
瑶池金
Sheng-Yen
母
is Katsuhiko in Japanese.
叫我的小名叫卡子
So Golden Mother called me by
卡子一
my
口
nickname Katsu.
I want to see 卡子一口，然后我就走到说，哎，
So
就叫我的名字啊，
someone
那
called
有什
my
么事
name.
吗？瑶池金母
So
托
what's
林
up?
千代讲，
Golden
想要见
Mother
你。
asked Jio-san,
你说我见不
and
到
she
他，
said that she wanted to meet
他
you.
也可以见到
And
我，
I
我
said,
见不到
but
他。
I cannot see her.
他说
She could see
你只
me.
要跪下来，
And then Chio-san told me, as long as you kneel down, then you would be able to meet her. So I kneeled down. And at that moment, Golden Mother appeared. And she told me, you need to liberate sentient beings. I've been looking for you for a long time. You need to deliver sentient beings. It's like in a cartoon. Is that Taiwanese or Japanese? Comic. It's like, how could it be? Because when I was young, I was just being bullied by this Mr. Ong. So, this kind of person, how could I deliver sentient beings? Because in school, when we line up and being counted, I'm always number 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there are 4 lines. The number 1 would stay in position, and number 2 step one step forward, and number 3 2 steps forward. And then together they would make one class, because I always called number 1. And then all lined up, and then turn right. But I could never remember left or right. Everybody turned right, and I turned left. And then said, move forward, step forward. Everybody moved that way, and I moved the other way. And then when I turned my head, oh no! And then I ran and chased them. And the whole group is moving toward the class, and I was running after them. And number 1 is at the first seat. I was the shortest, and the whole class bullied me for a long time. How could it be possible that I have to deliver sentient beings? And she said, believe me, and you need to do it. And then she told me, you need to be wholeheartedly toward the Buddha, and then Amitabha appeared. And you need to wholeheartedly learn the Dharma, and Golden Mother appeared. And you need to be wholeheartedly toward the virtues of goodness, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva appeared. And the Jade Emperor also appeared and gave you 2 words. And she used a red cloth and 2 golden words. It's loyalty and righteousness. And I thought, I'm not one of the gangster. Why do I need to be loyal? That amidst the 4 oceans, we are brothers. And what's next?
四海之内结兄弟，5福之内是500年来是一家啦。
So we are all brothers, and 500 years ago we are one family. So you need to view all sentient beings as your family. Then you would be able to deliver sentient beings.
Wow. 真的，他让我眼睛看见。
So she let me be able to see and hear, and I saw the words loyalty and righteousness. So Jiu-san took me, and at that time, come with me was my mother. Anybody else at that Jade Emperor Temple that can witness? My sister? My sister confirmed it, so thank you. At least someone that witnessed it. And the sister-in-law of Jiu-san was living in Dongsi, Mrs. Huang. She could also be a witness to this, and many other people too, at that Yi Huang temple. It was a true event. And that evening, Golden Mother took me to see my previous life. And she told me that your past life is Padma Kumara. And at that time, I was a Christian. Matthew, Mark, Lucas, Johann, Corinthians, the new book, the old book, Judas, the new book, old book, and many of the books or chapter. I was the head of the Bible study, and the minister that baptized me was Minister Su at that Bible study group at the Mingseng Street. I was baptized by Su Tianming. So I use water to baptize you, and I would give you the name by the name of the Holy Spirit. So the dormitory of the power company behind it, there was daughters, 3 daughters. So the names of the 3 daughters. Oh. For Gao Chunxin, I went to the Bible study because of the girls. It's a one-sided love. She was a classmate of my sister, Lu Sengmei. So Asim was really beautiful. She has a face like an apple. And now, how is she? It's better not to see her. Amitabha. I don't dare to take a look at her these days, and she doesn't. She's the same. So from a Christian, the reason I became a Taoist and then a Buddhist from a Christian is because of Golden Mother. Golden Mother introduced me to Padma Kumara. So does Padma Kumara exist? Next Saturday, it would be the Homa for Padma Kumara. And I really wish that every one of you will be here, will participate. That Padma Kumara does exist, and Padma Kumara has the origin. And at that time I did not know. And at that time, after I heard about Padma Kumara, I started to search around, and nobody knew about Padma Kumara. And based on what I know, in the Donghuang caves, that the Donghuang Gong and Xiwang Mu, so the god of the east and then the goddess of the west, Golden Mother, and Padma Kumara are on the same position. And so Golden Mother is my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law. Because many lifetimes ago, I married her daughter, Yinhua, Madam Yinhua. Does Golden Mother's daughter has an apple face? No, this Madam Yinhua has a pointed, oval, pointed, with the pointed chin. And Golden Mother is truly gorgeous, really beautiful. So you would know, just imagine how her daughter would be. So now, as far as I can see, they're all just garbage. No, but I cannot say that. Because there is a difference between a heavenly being and a human being. So when Ananda was taken to the heavens, Ananda loved his wife and didn't want to become a monk. He didn't want to be ordained. His wife was beautiful. So Sakyamuni Buddha took Ananda to the heavens to see the goddess. And then after he saw that, his wife became garbage. So because of that, he became a monk. And Grandmaster also has his affinity why he became a monk. And Golden Mother told me before that at 43 you would be ordained to become a monk, and truly it happened. And I had to be ordained because my hair all fall off, fall out. And Master Guoxian said, okay, let me shift your hair. Actually, there's not much hair left. It's very interesting because Golden Mother told me at 43, and I started to lose my hair at 40, and by the time I reached 43, there are only a few hair left. But after I shaved my head, from then on, I started to walk the spiritual cultivation path. Actually, I had started before too. So, Padma Kumara, in the future, there would be a book that is, the title is The Origin of Padma Kumara. It's being compiled by a fellow disciple from the Fa-Ming chapter, Dharma brother Tsang. After you read this book, you would know the origin of Padma Kumara, and you should not undermine Padma Kumara anymore. Because in each of the caves at Donghuang, there is Padma Kumara inside. So Golden Mother is my mother-in-law, and I also call her mother. And she's also the mother of all beings. And she's truly precious. And she's in the West. That's why. And the metal or gold belongs to the West. That's why she's called the Golden Mother. And in the East is the wood and Jia-yi. And the West is the gold or metal. And the North is water, Ren Kui. And the 9 in the South is fire. And at the center is the earth. So that's why we call her the Golden Mother of the West, because she's in the West. So she is the 5 patriarchs of Taoism. Donghua and Golden Mother, and then Huang Lao, Sui De, Dao De. So it's like the yellow emperor and the water, the earth. So there's the 5 the highest deities in Taoism, and then the 5 Dhyani Buddhas in Buddhism. So Akshobhya Buddha to the east, Amitabha Buddha to the west, and then Vairocana Buddha at the center, Akshobhya Buddha and Sattasambhava. They're actually at the equal level. That's my understanding. So her position is truly high. And she is the first deity that I gain spiritual response with. And all over the world, the true Buddha Lei Tsang temples, and the over 400 chapters and about 50 Lei Tsang temples, they all enshrine and worship Golden Mother. At that time, I wasn't very brave. I asked Golden Mother, am I able to deliver sentient beings? And Golden Mother replied, just do it. And truly, now we have over 5 million disciples all over the world, over 50 Lei Tsang temples, over 400 chapters, and 5 million disciples. And they all started from the Golden Mother. And Golden Mother's transcendental power and Dharma power is truly incredible. It's beyond imagination. And she is the first deity that Grandmaster Lu gained spiritual response with. As soon as I close my eyes, I would be able to see her. Once you gain spiritual response, as soon as you close your eyes, you would be able to see the deity. And she's always together with me at any time. And the power of my blessings all came from Golden Mother. So please take a good look at her look, her appearance, and the mantra. The mantra. And the mudra
就是度母的手印，
is the mudra of Tara.
就是度母的手印，他的手印
The mudra is like this.
那我们介绍瑶池金母，就介绍到这里。
So that's the end of the introduction of Golden Mother.
这个包含了
She has lots of Dharma practices. The
八大法，
main
包含
Yidam practice, the 8 great practices, the divine water practice, the body replacement practice, the life foundation practice, the instant money practice.
有钱的法，
So
因为马上有钱
all
的
of
法，
instant money
使
practice.
我们的真佛中的弟子有两
And because
个
of this instant money practice, the true Buddha disciples, among the true Buddha disciples, we have 2 disciples that won a big lottery, big lottery.
5500万美金等于多少台币？
One
19亿的台币
won the prize of 55 million US dollars,
莲花手脉
and his name was Lianhua Somai.
19亿的台币
He won
19亿的台币
55 million US
因为
dollars.
他名字不要公布，
And the other person did not want his name to be
会跟他要
announced
钱，
because he's afraid that
所以
many
他不愿意公布他的名字。
Dharma propagators, the masters, would want money from
多少忘
him.
掉了
And how much did he want?
啊
I forgot.
他拿到1亿多美金，
Wow, 100, over 100 million US dollars. Is that right?
一个是19亿，1亿多是多少？啊？1亿有30亿的台币，30亿，30亿，一个19亿，一个30亿。我们
So it's about 100
我这
million
次从西雅图回到
US
台湾的
dollars
时候啊，
because of this practice, instant money.
我们马上有一只乌龟，
This time in Seattle, someone gave me a horse, and on top of it there's a turtle. You don't give me money on top of a horse, because the other
你上万
name in Chinese, instant, is like on top of a horse,
应该有马上有钱，方面上
right? So money on top of a horse means instant money, but this is a turtle on top of a horse. And then she said, "Don't go to Taiwan too long." So the turtle in Chinese also means return. Please return
原来他
instantly.
马上有一只乌龟，还是马上归来。这没办法的事情， 马上有钱花，
So
真的
please come back instantly.
莲花手脉是这样子的。
So this
我上
instant
次
money
马
is
上有
truly
钱
happened.
的时候，给他灌了底，
So Lianhua Somai,
有钱
after he received empowerment on this, he started to practice
修了以后呢
immediately.
他就
And
要是金母宝贝，
after
应该修
practicing,
多少遍？
and he asked Golden Mother how many times did he have to
多少遍
practice.
就真的修，
And Golden Mother
一直
told
修
him
修修
how many times, and he continued practicing until he reached the appointed number.
佛瑶池金
Then
母
that
跟佛菩萨一
night,
起现身。
Golden Mother and all the Buddhas and Grandmaster appeared and told him that you will win a lottery.
跑到那个
So Lianhua Somai went to the 7-Eleven and bought a lottery ticket
就是也是电脑显号，就拿出来。
that was computer generated. And then he took it
真的
home. And truly enough,
那一张，那个两个人呐，先生已经先睡，
husband and
看到说
wife,
晚上这个开奖时间过了，这一张不知道会不会中奖。
it's
那
time
个先生说啊，
for opening the lottery.
也是没什
I
么
don't
希
know
望，
whether we will
做一个
win.
梦，
And the husband thought,
自己去对吧？
the wife who had the dream. So the husband thought, well, I don't know, that's just your dream. I'm going to sleep. And why don't you just check the number? And the wife, when she checked the number, and sure, we won the first lottery. And call on the husband, and the husband jumped off the bed. And they start to hug each other and jumping and dancing until morning. And then the news got around, and there started to be lots of people in front and around their house. Everyone asked money from them, whether they knew them or not. Friends, families, people from their hometown, schoolmates, a charitable organization, people in need. They all stick around their house, so they called Seattle Lezang Temple. Could you please help us? So Master The Hui and Master Lian Ning said, because we had a dormitory, and we told them, why don't you hide at our dorm? So they called the police, and a police car took them to the Seattle Lezang Temple. And they hid in our temple for how long? 3 months. So sometimes they appeared at the temple, and sometimes they don't, because they're afraid they're being known. So they hid there for 3 months, including their children. So temple directors from other places and masters, when they knew that he won the lottery, they also came to him and asked for money from him. So ever since, he did not go to the temple anymore. But this instant money practice, if you receive the empowerment today, the empowerments today would include this instant money Dharma practice. And there is a practice procedure for this instant money practice. And I hope that all of you would win the lottery after you practice it. Okay. Those are all the good news. Now, I would start to talk about the 5th instruction of the Great Perfection Dharma. But first, let me share a joke. On the TV, there's a scene about kissing, and the dad asked the kid to get a glass of water. And not long, there's another kissing scene, and the dad asked the kid to get more water, and the kid then asked, is it because when you see someone kissing, you get thirsty? Another joke. The dad asked the son, why do you drink so much? And the son said, because I ate an apple. So what is that related to drinking water? And the son said, because I forgot to wash the apple earlier. So I like to tell you, so in Buddhism, this is called the method to counter. So what is this countering method? It's like the joke, because when he ate the apple, he forgot to wash the apple, so he drank water to wash the apple inside the stomach. So Buddhist Dharma practices should start from the counter Dharma practices. And for the great perfection Dharma, what is the counter practice is because everyone has all these complex thoughts or running thoughts or strange thoughts that would appear in your head, and they are like the ocean waves. Actually, in your head, you would have this kind of thoughts. When you quiet down, or when you're reciting a sutra, then you would be able to notice that there are lots of those improper thought. Or when you do something, then there would be a thought that would appear, especially those who practice meditation or spiritual cultivators would appear. But the non-cultivator, they don't know that all these running thoughts are influencing them. So the first fifth instruction, the first key formula in countering all these running thoughts is about the wonderful observation. Have you ever thought about your thoughts? Have you ever been mindful of observing your thoughts? This is the first point. So to stop all these running thoughts, first you need to observe them. So when you have an improper thought appear, what should you do? You should cut it off. You should stop it. Cut it off. That's cutting. So that's the mastership of the spiritual cultivator, the first basic mastery of the great perfection. So the fifth instruction is first, observe your thoughts and cut it off. We often say about visualization, visualize Golden Mother, you close your eyes and oh no, it is my girlfriend appearing. You cannot think of the look of Golden Mother, but instead it's your girlfriend appearing. So that's called that improper thought.
Namo Amitofo, Namo Amitofo.
You're reciting Amitabha Buddha, Namo Amitabha, Amitabha. And then there's this hot girl walking by. Namo Amitabha. Wow! Spicy girl. Then that thought came to your head. Right? When you see something, all of a sudden a thought would appear. Or when your ears hear something, then you would have a thought affecting you, influencing you. So the six roots or the six senses of the ears, eyes, nose, tongue, body, and consciousness would influence you. So say I was with this Gao Chunxin girl. I went to see a movie at the power company, and we took a public, like a minivan, and it is very tight together. So she sat across from me, and because the van was very small and there's like two rows facing each other, so my knees touched her knees, and oh. Goosebumps all appeared. That feeling of being touched, it's undescribable. That feeling. How could I sleep tonight? So because of that touch, then you would have a different feeling. So when you go out and you see someone and someone glare at you, all of a sudden you're in a bad mood. With one thought, you thought, why did he glare at me? Then, all of a sudden, you would feel really bad. So your mood is changing because of your thoughts. So you need to control your mood. And how to do that is to stop your thoughts immediately. So that's the first step in our cultivation. Some people don't even notice it. They just flow with all the thoughts that's coming. It's just like the waves. In a moment they're very happy, and at another moment they're very down. When they hear good news, they're up, and when they hear sad news, they're down. So they're always being affected by your mood. Then how could you cultivate spiritually? Because for spiritual cultivators, you need to maintain the levelness. And you need to be calm and serene. So that's the first step in spiritual cultivation, is that wonderful observation of your own thoughts. So in Zen Buddhism, there is this statement, you're not, don't be afraid that you have many thoughts, but you need to be mindful of them and then cut off all the bad thoughts so that you can maintain your mood to be even mood. So this relies on your spiritual cultivation, your mastery of your spiritual cultivation. So the sage said that you need to be introspective 3 times every day. So the sage would be introspective of themselves 3 times a day. You observe your own conduct, behavior, and your thoughts, whether they are correct, they are proper or not. So then, I only said the first statement, I forgot about the second statement of that Zen. But I will correct it next time. A lot of people have all those running thoughts. When we recite the Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, so when I decided that, I had no other thought. However, when you recite the Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, don't you notice that sometimes all of a sudden, as you're reciting the name of a Buddha, you would think of something. that a thought would appear, would get inside your head. Although your mouth is still reciting, your brain is thinking of something else. Although your mouth is still reciting it, right? So that's how it happened. During that short period of time, for such a short sutra, Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, that can be finished in a couple of minutes, there are interruptions and distraction. There are thoughts appearing already. You would have thoughts, other thoughts. So if you say that, if I have another thought appearing, I would restart. And then in the middle, there's another interruption, then you start again, you restart. And then another thought appeared. So how come you have this non-stop thoughts, continual thoughts? What should you do? Then you need to find a way to stop them, to cut it off, and focus, concentrate, to finish the sutra from beginning to end. So when someone said they finish 1,000 recitation of Hiking Kuan Yin Sutra, they may have thousands or millions of thoughts in there. Sometimes when you recite and you finish and say, oh, what did I recite? They forgot. If you can nail down each of the words, that's a method to imprint them one by one. So this observation is you need to observe your thoughts. See, in such short period of time, that running thoughts could appear already. That's the first method, is to cut it off. And after you cut it off, you need to put down, let it go. You should not chase after the thought. Then you would go up and down with the thought. So when Grandmaster is writing an article, and write and write and write until a word. So how do I write this character? But all of a sudden I forgot how to write this. So then I check on the dictionary, and there are lots of explanation, and then I saw another word, and oh, this is really interesting. I continue to read and read, and then I continue reading the dictionary, and then I forgot about writing my article because of that word. Oh no, it's half an hour. Oh no, then I need to continue finishing writing my article. So that means the thought of writing your article was not focused because of this word would lead you to check the dictionary, and then instead you read the dictionary. When Dharma culture published a book and then put it in my desk, and this is my own book, and it's 10 minutes before mealtime, so I would read my book, and I forgot about time, and until they called me to dinner. So because of that book, my thoughts were all in there. So we cannot just follow our thought, because sometimes if you do that, you would forget about the proper things you were supposed to do, that you were cultivating spiritually, and then you get diverted. So when that appeared, you need to cut it off immediately. And after that, you need to let it go. Put it down. You put down the thought. Don't follow the thought anymore. Whether it is good or bad, virtuous or evil, right or wrong, don't think about it anymore. That's the second mastery, is to let it go. Put it down. You cannot put down a lot of things that they influence your mood. When you sleep, when you're supposed to sleep, sleep. When you're supposed to defecate, defecate. You need to concentrate. One time I was sitting on a toilet and take a book to read, and the book was really good. It was a comic. Slam Dunk. There are several characters in this Japanese comics. Xiangbei. Minnan. This character in Japanese comic. And they played basketball. And the comic author had a book about it. And I wanted to continue, because I wanted to know whether he won or lost. So 2 comic books finishing one game of basketball. One game of basketball could be written into 2 comic books. And after I finished the books, I haven't finished my defecation. And then when I take a look at my clock, oh no, the night is gone. Because it had been an hour. And then when I stood up, my skin got rash and red. Because the blood circulation was blocked. And Simu had witnessed that, right? Because I saw that comic book, the 2 characters playing basketball inside the comic. 2 books about the basketball game. So if you're a spiritual cultivator and you have such a thought, then that's the end of you. So you need to concentrate. So when you defecate, you should focus, sleep, eat, drink, or rest, that you need to focus, concentrate, including your spiritual cultivation. And you should not have your running thought influencing you. And this is the first mastery. And this is really meaningful. So your spiritual cultivation should start from this. From this first mastery. And that's the 5th instruction or key formula in the Great Perfection Dharma. A said, my wife can use a scarf as a dress because she's very slim. And B said, my wife, when she's taking shower, she fell through the drain because she's so skinny. And C said, my wife, when she swallowed an almond, someone thought she's pregnant. So they are just comparing how skinny their wives are. But that's over. This also came from all those destructive thoughts. How could that happen? How could that be real? But scarf maybe can be a dress. 55 minutes? Oh well.
我现在讲的正在起劲呢。
Because now I'm enjoying my talk.
这也是一个妄念呐，这也是一个妄念呐。
So this is also an improper thought. When I talk until I forget about time, although that shows my focus on the Dharma teaching, that's also an improper thought. See, because you interrupted, I forgot about what I wanted to say. See, an improper thought can distract your concentration. Actually, a thought can distract your concentration. So at the check-in counter at the airport, the man said, my flight is at 8:15 to fly to Beijing. Has the plane fly? Yes, sorry, Mister, it's gone. But I'm taking the first class. Don't I have special treatment? And the person said no, because the first class and the economy class fly at the same time. So would you have a privilege for the first class passenger? Yeah, but not for the departure time. So at that time, you need to cut and let go, and then you take the next flight. So a lot of things are like that. So this improper thought or a thought is obstructing our spiritual cultivation. So spiritual cultivators should learn to concentrate. And then when a thought arises, you need to cut it off and then eliminate it. Afterwards, you let it go, put it down, so that your mind is very calm and tranquil, like the ocean without wind, without waves. So, for true spiritual cultivators, they don't have any mood. The water is tranquil, totally calm and serene and quiet. There are no waves, and you need to control your mood so that you can quiet and calm your mind. And you need to observe your thoughts and then cut off your thoughts. And then you need to let go or put down your thoughts. Om Mani Padme Hum.